Every day, about 100 million rolls of toilet paper are used worldwide. It is one of the most essential items in our homes. But how is it made in factory? Toilet paper was invented in 1857 by American businessman Joseph Gaiety, who introduced it to the market under the name therapeutic paper. At first, it was sold in packages of pre-cut sheets. However, in 1890, a major innovation changed everything. The roll format was introduced. This made toilet paper more practical and accessible. On average, each person uses about 100 rolls of toilet paper per year. Globally, that adds up to around 21 billion rolls annually, enough to wrap around the Earth multiple times. To reduce tree cutting, the industry relies heavily on recycling other types of paper. However, turning rough, used paper into soft, absorbent toilet paper is a complex process that has been refined over the past 150 years. This impressive paper mill produces high-quality toilet paper using an advanced recycling process that gives discarded paper a new life. It all begins with tons of paper arriving from schools, offices, and universities. Each sheet goes through a careful sorting process where office paper, magazines, and newspapers are separated based on strict quality standards. Only the cleanest, whitest, and highest quality papers are selected for recycling. These papers have strong fibers and are easier to transform into soft toilet paper. Once sorted, the paper is compressed into large bales for efficient storage. These compact bales take up less space, making it easier to manage the materials in the factory. Now, the transformation process can begin. About 200 tons of paper are recycled each day. The process begins with a machine called the pulverizer, a large industrial tank that works like a giant blender. It mixes recycled paper with water at high speed, breaking the paper down into its basic fibers. Since the fibers must be fully separated, a significant amount of water is added, much more than the paper itself, creating a watery mixture called pulp. Inside the pulverizer, rotating blades stir the mixture forcefully, breaking the paper into small particles and releasing the cellulose fibers that originally made up the sheets. This process takes about 10 minutes, during which the fibers become long and flexible, an essential quality for forming new paper. Once the paper has turned into pulp, it must be cleaned to remove impurities. The first step involves passing it through a series of filters and sieves, which work like strainers to remove larger debris such as staples, plastic, glue, and any undissolved fragments. Even after this initial cleaning, the pulp remains dark due to leftover ink. To remove it, the factory uses a technique called flotation. Air is introduced into the pulp, creating bubbles, while special chemicals called surfactants help ink particles attach to these bubbles. As the bubbles rise to the surface, they carry the ink with them, forming a foam that is then removed. Once the ink is removed, the pulp passes through a series of rollers that squeeze out excess water and absorb bleaching chemicals. Rotating blades then cut the pulp to prepare it for the bleaching process, where the recycled cellulose pulp is further purified. Although the ink has been extracted, the pulp still appears gray rather than white. This is because it contains 5 to 10% newspaper, which has lignin, a natural component that gives paper its color. To remove lignin, a chemical bleaching process is used. The pulp is placed in a large bleaching tower where it stays in contact with special chemicals at a controlled temperature for several minutes. This process gives toilet paper its bright white color. To achieve the strength and softness that make toilet paper comfortable to use, 2 types of virgin fibers are added. Short fibers from hardwoods enhance brightness, whiteness, and softness. Long fibers from softwoods provide strength and durability. Next, the bleached pulp is spread onto a plate and passed through a powerful dryer, removing most of the water and allowing the fibers to bond. In less than a second, the pulp transforms into a thin sheet of paper. only 0.1 millimeters thick. Once formed, the paper is rolled into giant reels, each holding up to 75 kilometers of paper. These large rolls are then transported to the converting section, where they are cut into the familiar 10-centimeter wide toilet paper rolls used in homes. The converting process begins by unwinding the parent reels, preparing the paper to be cut and processed into the familiar toilet paper rolls. To make it easy to tear toilet paper features perforation lines. As the paper unrolls, it passes through a perforating machine, which creates small, evenly spaced slits. These perforations allow the paper to separate into 10 to 12 centimeter sheets, making it more convenient to use. Additionally, embossing is applied to add texture, which increases the paper's thickness, absorbency, and softness. Meanwhile, in another part of the factory, cardboard tubes are created. Two 80-centimeter wide cardboard sheets are glued diagonally to form a continuous tube, which is then cut into 165-centimeter sections. These tubes are transported to the winding area, where two layers of paper are combined to create double-ply toilet paper. The paper is wound onto the cardboard tubes, forming large rolls. Once a roll is complete, a blade automatically cuts it, and the process continues with the next tube. The end of each roll is sealed with glue to prevent it from unraveling. Then, a circular saw cuts it into 16 standard rolls, each 10 centimeters wide. Finally, the toilet paper is ready for packaging. Rolls for commercial use are individually wrapped in paper, while those for home use are packed in transparent plastic, in sets of 4 to 30 rolls. And just like that, in about 15 hours, tons of used paper and cellulose fibers are transformed into fresh, ready-to-use toilet paper, re-entering daily life. In large factories, millions of chickens are processed each day to meet consumer demand. Upon arrival, chickens are humanely stunned to ensure they do not feel pain before being quickly slaughtered. Their feathers are then removed using a hot water bath, followed by a picker machine with rotating rubber fingers that pluck the feathers. Next, the chickens are thoroughly washed with high-pressure water and food-safe solutions to remove dirt and bacteria. Their internal cavities are also flushed with water to eliminate blood and tissue. The feet are removed first, followed by the internal organs, which are carefully extracted using a specialized cutting tool and suction system. Each chicken is inspected by plant workers for diseases or defects. Only a small percentage are rejected. The rest move through an automated system that precisely cuts and separates them into parts like breasts, drumsticks, and thighs, which are then packaged and delivered fresh or frozen to stores. As we continue, let's take a look at this ice cream factory. Special machines first replace the cones on a moving belt, ensuring they are ready for the next steps. Then the cones are sprayed with a layer of chocolate to add extra flavor and prevent them from getting soggy. Next comes the filling stage. Creamy ice cream made from milk, sugar, and flavors like vanilla or chocolate is carefully poured into each cone. Once filled, the cones move forward for the topping stage. Delicious extras like melted chocolate and crunchy peanuts are added to enhance the taste. Finally, the ice cream cones go through the packaging process. They are placed in boxes and sent to freezing chambers to harden. Once fully frozen, they are packed and shipped to stores ready for people to enjoy. As we continue, let's take a look at orange juice production in factory. The process starts with selecting fresh oranges. These oranges are washed thoroughly to remove any dirt or chemicals. Next, they go through machines that squeeze out the juice, separating it from the peel and seeds. The juice is then filtered to remove any pulp if needed. To keep the juice fresh, it is pasteurized by heating it quickly and then cooling it down. After that, the juice is packed into bottles or cartons, sealed and stored in cold conditions before being sent to stores. Orange juice factories follow strict quality checks to ensure the juice is safe and tasty for everyone. And here we have an exciting look at how the red bean cake with mochi is made in the factory. The process begins with creating the monaka shell, a crisp outer layer made from a thin baked wafer. These shells are placed on a moving production line, ready to be filled. Machines then add a smooth and sweet red bean paste. Next, a thin layer of chewy mochi is carefully placed inside each shell. Finally, ice cream is added, filling the sandwich completely. Once assembled, the red bean cake with mochi is quickly frozen to maintain its texture and freshness. After freezing, they are packed into boxes in cold storage before being shipped to stores. Factory-made ready meals provide convenience and variety for busy lifestyles. The process starts with fresh, high-quality ingredients sourced from trusted suppliers. These are cleaned, prepped, and cooked in industrial kitchens under strict hygiene standards. Advanced machinery handles tasks like chopping, mixing, and portioning, while skilled workers oversee the production. Meals are cooked using methods that mimic home-style preparation, such as steaming, baking, or frying. Once ready, the food is rapidly chilled or frozen to preserve flavor and nutrients. Packaged in microwavable or oven-safe containers, ready meals undergo thorough quality checks before being distributed to stores worldwide. Advanced machines process hundreds of eggs per minute, expertly separating the yolks from the whites with precision. Cake making and decorating in a factory involves a highly efficient and organized process to produce large quantities of cakes while maintaining consistent quality. The process begins with mixing the ingredients, such as flour, sugar, eggs, and flavorings, in large industrial mixers. Once the batter is prepared, it is portioned into molds or pans using automated machines to ensure uniform size and weight. The cakes are then baked in large ovens at controlled temperatures. After baking, they are allowed to cool before moving to the decorating stage. Factory decorating involves applying frosting, glazes, or fondant with precision using specialized machinery. For intricate designs, such as patterns or logos, robotic systems or stencils are used to ensure consistency across each cake. Toppings like sprinkles, fruit, or chocolate are added as a final touch. The cakes are then packaged in protective containers to preserve freshness and shipped to retailers, ready for customers to enjoy. Nescafé is made through a detailed process that transforms coffee beans into instant coffee. It starts with selecting high-quality coffee beans, usually a blend of Arabica and Robusta, are sourced from various regions. The beans are carefully selected based on flavor profiles, aroma, and quality. The beans are roasted to specific temperatures to develop the desired flavor and aroma. The degree of roasting varies depending on the final product, such as dark roast or medium roast. After roasting, the beans are finely ground to increase the surface area, which aids in extracting coffee essence during brewing. The ground coffee is brewed in large industrial machines, similar to how coffee is made at home, but on a much larger scale. This process extracts the rich flavors and essential oils from the coffee grounds. The brewed coffee is concentrated by evaporating some of the water content, resulting in a thicker coffee solution. The concentrated coffee is dried to create instant coffee granules or powder. Two main drying methods are used. The coffee solution is sprayed into a stream of hot air, causing the water to evaporate and leaving behind fine coffee powder. The coffee solution is frozen, then water is removed through sublimation, preserving the aroma and flavor. Finally, the dried coffee granules are sealed in airtight packaging to ensure freshness. Now, let's dive into the fascinating world of dumpling production in a modern factory. Every day, millions of dumplings are made using fresh ingredients and advanced machines. The goal is to keep the same delicious taste as homemade dumplings while making them quickly and efficiently. The process starts with mixing flour and water to make soft dough. At the same time, fresh vegetables, meat, and seasonings are prepared for the filling. Machines roll out the dough into thin wrappers and carefully fill each one with the tasty mixture. Then, the dumplings are folded and sealed just like they would be by hand. Some dumplings are steamed, boiled, or frozen, depending on how they will be sold. After a final quality check, they are packed and sent to supermarkets and restaurants. Customers can then cook and enjoy them at home. Toast bread, also known as sliced bread, is made in factories using a simple and efficient process. It starts with mixing ingredients like flour, water, yeast, sugar, and salt to create dough. The dough is kneaded by machines until it becomes smooth and elastic. It is then left to rise, allowing the yeast to make the dough light and fluffy. After rising, the dough is shaped into loaves and baked in large ovens. Once baked, the loaves are cooled and then sliced into even pieces by sharp automated blades. This ensures each slice is uniform and ready for toasting. The sliced bread is then packaged. It is usually placed into plastic bags which are sealed to keep the bread fresh. Some factories also add twist ties or clips to the bags for easy opening and closing. Labels with information like the brand, ingredients, and expiration date are added before the bread is boxed and sent to stores. Toast bread is a staple in many homes, perfect for breakfast, sandwiches, or snacks. And here, let's explore the journey of making guacamole and how avocados are processed in factory. With over 10 million tons enjoyed globally each year, much of it in guacamole and avocado-based sauces. In the US, over 500,000 tons of these products are consumed annually, with nearly half imported from Mexico. Avocado cultivation thrives in regions with favorable climates such as Mexico, California, and South America. Trees are grown in well-drained soils with ample sunlight, proper irrigation, and pest control. Once ripe, avocados are carefully harvested by hand or machinery to preserve quality. After collection, the fruits are swiftly transported to processing plants, where advanced technology ensures efficiency and quality. Processing begins with cleaning and inspecting avocados for contaminants. Automated systems sort and grade fruits based on size and quality. Perfect fruits are packed for sale, while others are designated for guacamole production. High-quality avocados are ripened in chambers, peeled, pitted, and transformed into a smooth paste, mixed with ingredients like onion, tomato, cilantro, lemon juice, and spices. Guacamole is vacuum-packed and sealed to ensure freshness and extended shelf life before being labeled and distributed to supermarkets. Innovations in processing and sustainability enhance efficiency while reducing waste. Frozen pizza is produced in factories using a highly efficient method that combines advanced technology with stringent quality control to provide tasty, convenient meals. It all begins with preparing the dough, made from a precise blend of flour, water, yeast, and other ingredients. The dough is mixed and left to rise before being rolled into flat sheets and cut into the desired pizza shapes. Next, the pizza bases are partially baked in high-temperature ovens, ensuring a firm crust while maintaining softness inside. After cooling, the partially baked crusts move along conveyor belts to the topping stations. Here, sauce is evenly spread, followed by layers of cheese, meats, and vegetables. Each topping is applied with precision using automated dispensers to guarantee consistency. The fully assembled pizzas are then flash frozen in specialized freezers that rapidly reduce their temperature. This process locks in freshness and preserves the taste and texture of the ingredients. Once frozen, the pizzas are packaged in boxes designed to prevent damage and maintain product quality during transport. Throughout the production, rigorous quality control checks ensure every pizza meets safety and flavor standards. These frozen pizzas are then distributed to stores ready to provide customers with a quick and delicious meal option. Over 50 billion burger patties are consumed worldwide each year. Whether served in a fast food restaurant or cooked at home, they provide a delicious and convenient meal option. But how are these patties made on such a massive scale? From selecting the meat to packaging. The process involves several steps. Each step ensures that the patties are safe to eat and taste great. Let's take a closer look at how beef patties are made on a large scale in a factory setting. The first step in making beef patties is selecting high-quality meat. Factories usually source beef from reliable farms and suppliers. The meat used in patties often comes from different parts of the cow, including chuck, round, and sirloin. These cuts are chosen because they provide a good balance of flavor and fat content, which is important for a juicy burger. Before the meat is accepted into the factory, it goes through an inspection process. This ensures that it meets food safety standards and is free from harmful bacteria or contamination. The beef is also checked for the right color, texture, and freshness. Once the meat is selected and inspected, it moves to the grinding stage. The meat is placed in large industrial grinders, which break it down into small pieces. This process helps create the right texture for the patties. Factories usually grind the meat twice. The first grind reduces the meat into coarse pieces, while the second grind makes it finer and more uniform. This step also helps mix the fat and lean meat evenly, ensuring that every patty has the same texture and juiciness. After grinding, the beef is transferred to a mixing machine. Some patties are made from 100% beef, while others may include seasonings, salt, or preservatives. If any additional ingredients are needed, they are added at this stage. The mixing process is carefully controlled to ensure consistency. Large machines blend the ingredients evenly, making sure that every patty has the same taste and quality. Once the meat is properly mixed, it moves to the patty-forming machines. These machines shape the ground beef into uniform patties using molds or presses. The size and thickness of the patties depend on the factory's specifications. Some patties are thin, while others are thick and juicy. Factories use high-speed machines that can produce thousands of patties per hour. These machines ensure that each patty is the same size and weight, which is important for cooking consistency. The formed patties are then placed on conveyor belts, where they move to the next stage of the process. To keep the patties fresh and safe for transportation, they are frozen immediately after forming. Factories use special freezing methods, such as flash freezing or blast freezing. These techniques help preserve the texture, flavor, and quality of the meat. Flash freezing involves exposing the patties to extremely low temperatures in a short period. This prevents ice crystals from forming inside the meat, which can affect the texture. By freezing the patties quickly, factories ensure that they remain fresh until they reach the consumer. Before packaging, they go through a strict quality control process. This step is important to ensure that every batch meets food safety standards and customer expectations. Factory workers and automated machines check for several factors, including weight and size. Each patty must be the correct weight and thickness. Texture and appearance. The patties should be evenly shaped and free from defects. The freezing process must be checked to ensure the patties are stored at the correct temperature. Bacteria testing. Samples of the patties are tested in laboratories to make sure they do not contain harmful bacteria, like E. coli or Salmonella. If a batch of patties does not meet quality standards, it is removed from production to ensure that only the best products reach consumers. After passing all quality checks, the patties are ready for packaging. They are placed in plastic wrap, vacuum-sealed bags, or boxes, depending on where they will be sold. Some factories package patties in bulk for restaurants, while others create smaller packs for grocery stores. The packaging process is designed to keep the patties safe from contamination. Automated machines carefully place the patties in sealed containers, ensuring that they remain hygienic and fresh. The packaged patties are loaded onto trucks and shipped to different locations. Some go to fast food chains, while others are sent to grocery stores and supermarkets. Let's take a look at the Babybel factory that produces millions of small snack cheese balls. It all begins with milk sourced from dairy suppliers. The milk is pasteurized to eliminate harmful bacteria, ensuring safety and freshness. Next, a starter culture and rennet are added to the milk, initiating the cheese-making process by curdling the milk and separating it into curds and whey. The curds are then cut and drained to remove excess whey, forming the base of the cheese. These curds are pressed into molds, shaping them into Babybel's signature small, round wheels. Once molded, the cheese is aged in a controlled environment to develop its mild and creamy flavor. After aging, the cheese wheels are coated in a protective layer of red wax, which seals in freshness and prevents spoilage. Finally, the wax-covered cheeses are wrapped in the iconic Babybel packaging. Pickle production in factories is a fascinating blend of traditional preservation methods and modern technology. It starts with the selection of fresh cucumbers, typically sourced from local farms which are carefully inspected for quality and size. Once selected, the cucumbers are thoroughly washed to remove dirt and impurities. Next, the cucumbers are either sliced into desired shapes or left whole, depending on the product. They are then placed in large brine tanks containing a mixture of water, vinegar, salt, and spices. This brining process is crucial, as it not only preserves the cucumbers, but also infuses them with their signature tangy flavor. The pickling process may involve fermentation or quick pickling depending on the desired product. Once ready, the pickles are transferred to automated filling lines where they are packed into sterilized jars. Sealed and labeled, the jars undergo final quality checks before being shipped to stores for consumers to enjoy. Now, let's dive into the process of making banana chips in factory. It begins with selecting raw bananas, typically green plantains, which are firm and less sweet than ripe bananas. The bananas are sourced from local farms and transported to the factory for processing. The first step in the factory process is washing the bananas thoroughly to remove dirt and any residues. After cleaning, the bananas are peeled mechanically. Large-scale banana peeling machines are used to remove the tough skin without damaging the fruit inside. Next, the peeled bananas are sliced into uniform thin rounds. This is done using high-speed slicing machines that ensure consistent thickness. Once sliced, the banana rounds are deep fried in large industrial fryers. The oil used for frying is typically heated to around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The fryer is designed to maintain a consistent temperature and evenly cook the chips. The banana slices are fried in batches, ensuring they turn golden brown and crispy without absorbing excess oil. After frying, the chips are drained to remove any excess oil and then passed through a seasoning machine. Here, the chips are evenly coated with salt or other spices depending on the desired flavor. Finally, the banana chips are packaged in airtight bags to preserve freshness and prevent them from becoming stale. And here, let's take a look at the production of mango juice in this factory. It begins with sourcing ripe, high-quality mangoes from farms. Upon arrival at the factory, the mangoes are thoroughly washed to remove dirt and impurities. Next, the mangoes are peeled and de-seeded by hand or using automated machines. The extracted mango pulp is then passed through a pulping machine to ensure a smooth and consistent texture. The pulp is filtered to remove any remaining fibers or impurities. The filtered pulp is blended with water, sugar, and preservatives according to the desired juice recipe. Some factories may add natural flavor enhancers or vitamins to enrich the juice. Finally, the juice is poured into sterilized bottles, sealed, labeled, and packaged for distribution. This ensures a refreshing, safe product for consumers worldwide. Every year, 3 billion surprise eggs are sold worldwide. These irresistible chocolate eggs contain a hidden surprise inside. But how are they made? Let's take a look inside the Ferrero factory to see how one of the world's most popular treats is produced. Kinder Surprise was created in 1974 by Michele Ferrero, founder of the Italian company Ferrero. Inspired by Italy's Easter tradition of hiding surprises in chocolate eggs, he wanted to bring that magic to children all year round. To achieve this, Ferrero combined its chocolate-making expertise with a unique idea, placing a small toy inside a chocolate egg. The result was Kinder Surprise, a treat loved by both children and adults. The process of making Kinder Surprise starts with selecting high-quality ingredients. Cocoa beans are sourced from tropical regions, mainly in West Africa, such as the Ivory Coast. Farmers harvest ripe cocoa pods by hand, extract the beans, and leave them to ferment for 7 days. This fermentation process develops the flavors characteristic of cocoa. The beans are then sun-dried for 10 days, reducing moisture for easier storage and transport. Once dried, they are sent to factories where they are carefully cleaned to remove impurities like dust and stones before being stored under controlled conditions. The milk used comes from dairy farms that meet strict quality and sustainability standards. Sugar is extracted from sugarcane grown in tropical climates. The cane stalks are crushed to release the juice, which is then filtered, purified, and crystallized to produce refined sugar. Once all the ingredients arrive at the factory, the chocolate production process begins. During cocoa bean processing, cocoa paste is extracted. This paste is then pressed to separate its two main components: cocoa butter, a natural fat that gives chocolate its creamy texture, and cocoa powder used to enhance the chocolate's flavor and color. The cocoa butter is filtered and purified to remove impurities. Once the cocoa butter is obtained, it is mixed with other key ingredients: powdered milk, sugar, and soy lecithin. These ingredients are carefully weighed and combined in precise proportions to create the two signature layers of a Kinder Surprise egg. The outer layer of milk chocolate, which balances cocoa and sweetness, and the inner layer of white chocolate, which has a creamier and sweeter taste. The ingredients are mixed in large, rotating containers at controlled temperatures to ensure a smooth, even blend. The mixture then passes through steel rollers that compress and refine the solid particles to microscopic sizes, typically less than 20 microns. This step is crucial for giving the chocolate a silky and non-gritty texture. A key stage in producing high-quality chocolate is conching. This process takes place in large machines called conchis, where the chocolate mixture is continuously stirred under heat. Conching helps remove bitter and volatile compounds, resulting in a smoother, well-balanced flavor. The chocolate develops a smooth and creamy consistency before undergoing tempering, a controlled heating and cooling process that stabilizes the cocoa butter crystals. This step is essential for achieving a glossy finish and a firm texture that resists melting. Once tempered, the chocolate is stored in tanks at 30 degrees Celsius to maintain its fluidity and quality. It is continuously stirred to prevent lumps, while temperature and viscosity are carefully monitored to ensure it is ready for the next stage. The result is high-quality chocolate, prepared for molding into the signature Kinder Surprise egg shape. The plastic molds used to shape the eggs are thoroughly cleaned and sterilized to ensure hygiene and prevent contamination. They are slightly preheated to help the chocolate flow and adhere properly. The egg-forming process begins with tempered milk chocolate being poured into the molds through dosing nozzles. The molds are then placed in a rotary machine, which spins them in multiple directions to ensure the chocolate evenly coats the interior, forming a thin and uniform layer. Next, the molds travel along a conveyor belt to a refrigerated tunnel where the chocolate is cooled to a precise temperature. This allows the outer milk chocolate layer to harden just enough to support the next step. Once the milk chocolate has solidified, a thinner layer of white chocolate is poured into the molds. The molds are rotated again to ensure even coverage inside the existing milk chocolate layer. Each yellow plastic capsule, which contains the surprise toy, is manufactured and assembled on a separate production line. The toys are carefully inserted, and the capsules undergo strict safety checks. The capsules are then automatically placed at the center of one half of the chocolate egg. High-precision machines align the two halves, one containing the capsule and one without. The halves are joined using light pressure and a touch of heat, allowing the chocolate to act as a natural adhesive. This step ensures that the egg is completely sealed and that the surprise capsule is securely enclosed. Each Kinder Surprise egg then undergoes automatic and manual inspections to verify that the halves are properly aligned and the seal is flawless. Once approved, the eggs are ready for the packaging stage. Each Kinder Surprise egg is individually wrapped in a thin aluminum foil, specially designed to protect it from light and moisture while preserving the chocolate's freshness. The aluminum sheets are cut to precise sizes and applied by automatic machines, which wrap each egg and seal the foil using pressure and heat. Sensors and cameras check that every egg is correctly wrapped and that the design is clear and uniform. This ensures that Kinder Surprise eggs reach consumers in perfect condition with their signature attractive packaging, high-quality chocolate, and an exciting surprise inside. And here we have a Lollipop factory that show how this sweet and colorful treats are manufactured. It all starts with a blend of the main ingredients, sugar, water, and corn syrup, that give lollipops their sweet and chewy texture. The ingredients are mixed in large kettles and heated until the mixture reaches extremely high temperatures. After the flavoring, the hot candy mixture is poured onto cooling tables where it begins to set. Once the candy is ready, it's fed through machines that portion it into individual lollipop shapes. These machines cut the candy into precise pieces and press sticks into each one. The candy quickly cools and hardens, securing the stick in place. After the lollipops are fully set, they move on to the wrapping station. Automated wrapping machines package each lollipop in colorful, protective wrappers. Finally, each lollipop passes through a quality control check, where the perfect lollipops are boxed and prepared for distribution to stores ready to be enjoyed.